Good morning, good morning. It's Michele from Monkey's Creations. Come on in. I'm just a minute early so that I can get everybody pulled up and we can start at 10. How about that? How about that? So say hey when you come in. I would appreciate it. Computer's slow this morning. Just like I am. Anybody else slow this morning? Oh, wrong page, wrong page. Come on, there we go. There we are. Oh, let me turn that off. I definitely don't need to hear myself. Good morning, everybody. It's Michele from Monkey's Creations. If you could just take 10 seconds and float my boat, I would appreciate it. You're barely awake? Yeah, well, I was trying to sleep last night and I turned the fan on and all it did was squeak. And I was like, so I turned it down and the squeak was just slower. I was like, okay, I'm just turning you off because I'm not going to sleep at all. But that just means I was sweating all night. And I wasn't sweating to the oldies, y'all. Thanks for the stars, Brenda. For those of y'all just popping in, I am Michele from Monkey's Creations, and I come on Unique in the Creek page every other Friday and create a flower. Now, most of y'all, if y'all have followed me for a while, y'all know I really don't like to make roses. It's just not my thing, but I can make them, and I can make them quick. But I'm going to slow my roll today. Because many of y'all may not have made a rose or watched me make a rose. So I don't make many of them, but when I do, it's like, pay attention. So we are going to do a Halloween rose using this gorgeous fabric mesh and just a regular black. Because when I make roses, I also just don't make typical roses. I like to put a little extra flair, a little extra mesh, make it a little fuller. So that's what we're going to do. So we are going to do 2 petals in each of the zip ties. And as you can see, I have already loaded most of my board. So give me a thumbs up if you have never, ever, ever made a rose before. Give me a thumbs up while I bring y'all down. Yay, you caught me live. Welcome. Thanks for floating my boat. Let me bring y'all down. Thanks for the stars. A lot of y'all haven't made a rose. Okay, well, I'm going to challenge you. I'm known for my challenges. So I'm going to challenge each and every one of you who have not made one to make one after I do this. Okay? Can you do it? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Where's the Friday dance? Oh my gosh. Everybody get up. Get off the couch. Get out of the bed. Get off the chair. Put your coffee down. I almost forgot. Roses are intimidating, but I promise you they are easy. I'm going to show you. But we got to shake our booty for just a minute. You ready? It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. Woohoo. All right. Let's get busy. So, yes, you can do it. I promise you. I promise. All right. So, you can see I don't typically use row 1 unless I'm adding leaves. So, row 2 is where we're going to start our flower. And you can see, I'm going to zoom in. I don't know where that shadow is coming from. Where's that shadow coming from? Let me see if I can get it out of our way. Okay, we're just going to work on this side. That'll get rid of our shadow. So you can see, I'm going to zoom in for y'all. You can see on row 2, I have loaded every other set of zip ties. Now we are going to go back and load the other ones, but we're going to do that after we get the every other ones in. And I promise y'all, it's going to be so much easier to do it this way. Okay, so let's make a petal. So all of these are cut at 10 by 10. Good morning, everybody coming in. So 10 by 10. Okay, so we've got, this is fabric mesh. I did save it. So it's check fabric mesh. I'm not sure if Unique in the Creek has it or not. I should have looked, but I didn't. I'm sorry, it's been a morning. So 10 by 10, we're going to go curl side up, diamond shape. We're going to bring the top to the bottom, and we're going to line up these tips. Okay, try to line up our sides. It's not really important if they're perfectly straight, so don't get hung up on that. And then what I do is, so we're at the 20, I bring my tip out to the 23, and I hold this end and I stretch it, and then I pinch at the 20, pinch, 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 just like that, and I band it. Now everybody has their own way of doing them, so just find your way to do it. You don't have to do it the way I do it or anybody else does it. Find your way. Okay, now we are doing 2 petals in each zip tie because I'm extra, y'all. Sometimes I can be extra. So we're going to take another one. This is the solid black fabric mesh, and we're going to do the same thing, top to the bottom. Bring it out, that tip out to the 23. We're going to stretch it, pinch at the 20. So I have about a 3-inch tail. When do air conditioners? Yeah, I'm sure they do. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it right on top of our fabric mesh. And then we're just going to band it again. Just like that. Easy, right? Okay, now all we have to do is load every other set of holes on row 2. Okay, you can't get much easier than this, y'all. You can trim these down if you want. You don't necessarily have to, but if it makes it easier for y'all, just trim them down. Good morning, good morning. Okay, so right over, I didn't think about trimming these down beforehand. So if you have any questions along the way, please make sure you ask, because that's why I'm here, y'all. Okay. Thanks. I definitely have to get them redone. It's been a minute. So once you get all of your petals made, then this part is easy peasy. So what are y'all doing this weekend? Monk gets ready to go back to his school next week. He's starting school, so he's really, really excited. can you get dressed and go to work for me? No. Sorry. I can't. But you can, you know, just imagine me being there working with you. How about that? Or is that kind of weird? Maybe kind of weird. Hello, hello. Okay, so we just have 2 more right now. Good morning. I know, I love this Halloween mesh. And fabric mesh is easy to work with, especially for these roses. So if I'm going to do a rose, I'm typically going to use the fabric mesh. You've never tried one of these, Catherine? I'm going to break it down for you. I promise. Look how easy it is already. Don't be intimidated. You just have to do it. Go cut your mesh. Later on today, after you've watched this live, watch the replay. Do it step by step. Pause my video. Do another step. Pause my video. I promise you, it's easy. It's the placing of the petal. Typically when I do roses, I'm going to use 2 petals. I like mine, I'm a little extra, and I like mine really full. But you can just use 1 piece of mesh, y'all. If you are doing white or yellow, some of the regular Deco meshes, you may need to double up those petals anyway because they are so thin. But the fabric meshes, the horizontal wide stripe, all of those, you can get away with just doing 1 petal in each zip tie. Okay. All right. Now what we're going to do, really simple. Take you another zip tie, go right back over the zip ties you already put in there. That's not difficult. Right back over. You're welcome. How many rolls of mesh for? I typically use 2 rolls of mesh for my roses. Not yet. Stop it. But like I said, you can get away most of the time with just using 1 roll. The rose was the first UITC only because it was the only board. Exactly. And the rose was, y'all, I kept seeing the roses everywhere, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. So like so many of y'all, I was kind of, and I'm just going to zip tie these together. Like so many of y'all, I was intimidated. I think I held on to it for, I know, a month or 2, and I was like, oh, heck no. What's up with all them hoes? But then I made myself do it. And from then on, I was hooked. Happy Friday, y'all. Okay, so just getting these closed because we're going to tame these edges. Okay, so we're literally going to zip tie our edges into these zip ties so that they're not messing with us. Okay. So we're just going to start anywhere. Okay. We're going to take these tips, put them right in. You don't need very much. Just go maybe the length of the mesh you cut. Okay. Not much at all. And then we're going to take these 2 edges and put them right in there as well, right on top of each other. See how easy, and see how we're starting to get that scallop? Do I need to zoom in? I'll zoom in even more for this part. Now you'll have to remember, it's been a while since I've done a rose, so I have to think. Okay, so we're just going to keep going in order. There, our tip from this one. And we're going to get our tip from this one. Okay. See that? And zip it in. Doesn't matter if you go on top, underneath. Y'all don't overthink it. See here, we're going to go from underneath, or you can go from up top. Making sure y'all can still see the up close. Okay, now watch what happens when I pull too much. See how it pulled that scallop in even further? We don't need to do that. Just let it relax. You just need the very tips of those, of that mesh going right into that other zip tie. Oh, that could have been bad. Now the mesh does stick to each other. Just be gentle with it. This rose, you really don't have to worry about the frays because all your cut ends are going to be inside. Okay, so don't worry about them. Now we do have some storms coming in, so hopefully I don't lose y'all. Everybody still with me? You see what you were doing wrong? And y'all, there's really not a wrong way to do it. You do it the way you want to. I'm sure I don't do it the way Laurie does it. And it's okay. Find your own way of doing it. There's not just one way to do it. Do it your way. Find what works for you and just do it. You can do it. What size is my M? What size is my mesh? Is that what you're asking, Marion? It's 10 by 10, if that's what you're asking. Good morning, good morning. So just getting those very tips inside that zip tie. last one going in, or the last set. All right, there we go. Our first row is done. And you can kind of mold them if you want, or just let the mesh do whatever it wants, okay? Now that was easy, right? Everybody just say yes. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna fill in these extra pieces, okay? I did it the way I did it just so we didn't have a lot of zip ties, so that y'all could really see what I was doing. So we're going to do this row, and then I'm going to jump to the very center, because everything else from here, okay, where's that hole? Everything else from here is going to be done the exact same way. Zoom in. Yes, you will. Everybody just say, yes, I will. Accept my challenge. The gauntlet has been thrown. One more. Hello, hello. We're zoomed in, so I'm going to have to keep checking my screen to make sure that I'm still in the screen. Okay, so from here it's just going to be putting our petals right in, still going to the inside of our board with our tails. I know you can, Dana Downs. Now these, I'm not going to worry about double zip tie-in. I just needed that very outside row secure. Because the good thing about mesh is it sticks to itself, right? So once I start getting the other rows on there, it'll just start sticking to itself, y'all. You ordered the mesh, yay! Okay, so how many think this is easier than what they thought? I'm still on row 2, yes. You point yours outside. See, that's what I'm saying. So many people do it their own way. So these, what Dana is saying she does is when she takes this tip, she takes it to the outside, and then when that next row comes in, it pops it up. So what that allows it to do is stick up a little bit more than putting it this way. So this way allows it to lay down. This way gives you a more 3D effect. Does that make sense? You don't have the patience, girl. Yes, you do. Stop it. Look, if I can make a rose, anybody can make a rose. Okay, so we're still on row 2, filling in the every other that we started on. Hold on, let me see what that question was. You have made 5 roses, but I haven't made the one with the rose in the middle and the other flower petals. Deborah, I did that one on here, on this page a few weeks ago. So if you go check out Unique in the Creek, go to my part of their YouTube channel. It's called Make It Like Michele, and that video will be there. So we call that the Sarah flower. So it's the rose in the middle with the Dean Michael on the outside. But I did it for y'all. See what I do for y'all. You're welcome. So if there ever is any other flowers that y'all want me to try to make, you just have to let me know. What you want to see, what you want me to break down. Good morning, good morning. All right, last one on this row, and then we can jump to the middle, y'all. Okay, so now we can not even bother with these. If you want, you can go in and secure them the same way we did on that outside row. But you will find that once I get these other rows in here, it will put them and keep them in place. Okay, so we're going to start right here in the middle. So you can tell I've got a zip tie right in the middle. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to make the petal again, because I saved a few for y'all. So these are all 10 by 10. We're going to take it with the curved side up, diamond shape top to the bottom, turn it sideways. Now I'm going to line my tip up at the 23. I'm holding it, I'm stretching it, and we're going to pinch it at the 20, so I have a 3-inch tail. And then I'm going to band it. Okay, then we're going to take our black, don't worry about the frays, just cut them off. You're not going to see them. Top to the bottom. Turn it sideways. I'm just lining up our sides. Okay, our tip at the 23, stretch, pinch at the 20. And then I'm going to lay our black right on top of our Halloween. And we're just going to band it together. Cut that off, just like that. Okay, So what I do for my middles is I literally just take that petal, lay it on the table, kind of line up our tips right here. I'm gonna try to do this facing y'all, and y'all, I just roll it. So we're gonna roll it from one side to the other. Okay, just like that. It looks like a hole. And then I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna zip tie it. I'm gonna trim this down just a little bit. And I'm gonna place it right in that zip tie. Just like that. Now once I get my other petals on, it will push that up and it'll be right in the middle. Okay? Now we're going to start building our bud. So here is where, remember how I told you these petals are going in? For this row, I bring my petals out. Okay, so on row 2, 3, and 4, our petals go in. On row 5, my petals go out. With me? So let's grab some clips. I have no idea where my long clips went, but those are my favorite for these roses, just because they're longer. But so anyway, we're taking that same petal and now we're going to the outside. Is fabric mesh? The fabric mesh is what I prefer when I'm making roses. It's easy to work with and it just makes a gorgeous rose. Okay, so see how it's going out? Oh, hold on. I'm putting that in the wrong way. I still want my Halloween on the bottom. Sorry. Oh, can I get it back in there? There we go. Okay, so it's facing out. And then we're just going to zip tie. Zip it in. Now from here, I'm going to start wrapping around our bud. Now I typically wrap mine a little bit tighter to kind of keep it all compressed and in one place so I can still work with the rest of the board. And I can always at the end go loosen that up. So you will find me always wrapping my centers a little bit tighter than they need to be, but I do loosen those up. Okay, so you can see I'm just taking one end and I'm just wrapping it. Just be gentle with it. If you want to put one zip tie in at a time, you can most definitely do that. Okay, and then I'm just going to take a, this is why I love my long clips, but I don't have them. So I'm just going to hold that clip there. And we're going to put in our next petal. Yes, each petal for me on this rose has 2 petals just tied together. Okay, so once again, taking that tail to the outside. gonna wrap it. I don't know where that piece came from. Okay, and I'm just changing and moving the clips as we move around. Make sure I don't pinch my skin. Okay, now with each layer, it's going to get easier and easier to wrap. All right, we've got one more on this row. Find my zip tie. There we go. Now sometimes on this inner row it's maybe easier to leave that zip tie open. Really up to you. It's hard making sure y'all can see and me still trying to make it. I just keep moving my clips. All right, so that inside is done. Could you use burlap? Are you talking regular burlap or poly burlap? If you're talking poly burlap is not going to give you the kind of fluff that this mesh is giving you. If I had a piece, I would show y'all. It's going to be a thinner, and it's thinner and not as fluffy as your fabric mesh, deco mesh, those kinds of things will give you. Can you use it? Absolutely. But it's going to be definitely more expensive. If you're talking regular burlap, probably going to be the same thing, but you may like that look. So try it and see. Okay. All right. So we're going to continue. Now these, I'm going back to my tails going in. Now from here on out, it's going to be the same. Now you can go and keep working on whichever row you really want. In order for y'all to see better, I'm thinking I'm just going to go ahead and go right to row 3 so that it's easier for y'all to see. But like I said, it really doesn't matter. Just fill them in, y'all. But I am making sure they kind of stay in their rows, right? I don't want this up here in row 3. I want it back here in row 2. And you'll see it'll already start to stick to itself. But that's another reason I make my butt a little bit tighter. That way you can still see these other 2 rows as well. You have to adult. Well, go have fun. I'll keep adulting right here. Would it be harder to start from the inside? No, it wouldn't. It really just depends on how you like to do them. Once you start doing them and you make a few, you find your own easier way to do it. Just because this is my easiest way doesn't mean it's yours. So start wherever you want. It's really not gonna matter. I do always recommend that you do that outside first before you do anything. I have storm doors and mine fits just like hers. Yeah. I love these colors. Y'all, I love me some Halloween. Outside first, and is that the first row of poles? No, it's row 2, Karen. Row 2. Row 1 I generally only use for leaves on these. And if it's not a typical rose, like your reds, yellows, those kinds of things, I do not recommend, or I don't add leaves. If it's your yellows, reds, those kinds of things, then I do add leaves. But like I said, that's totally up to y'all. Have I been known to add leaves? Absolutely. I wouldn't do yellow on a Halloween rose. I would pick a color, whether it be, you know, the lime green, orange, purple, or black. Does that make sense? Plus you have leaves on yours. Yeah, you can definitely add leaves. I just don't. But I'll add leaves to this one if y'all want me to, so you could see how to add them. Hey, hey. I think roses are definitely the hardest to teach, only because you really can't see like down in them. Does that make sense? It's just harder to see how to make it. You don't think it should have leaves? And see, that's the thing. Some people think they should, and some people think that they shouldn't. It's, you know, that's a good thing about everybody being different creatives, having different minds. You know, you can put leaves on them or you don't have to. You're so welcome. All right, y'all. We just have one more row to go. Look how pretty that is. So let me see. Let me see if I counted right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looky there. So let's make another petal. For those of y'all just hopping in. Okay, so these are all cut at 10 by 10. Now I'm going to go with the outside first. So this Halloween is our bottom petal. Okay, so 10 by 10, curl side up, diamond shape, top to the bottom. Turn it sideways. I line the tip up at the 23, hold it, pull it, scrunch at the 20. And band it. Okay, we're going to take our black. We're going to do same thing, 10 by 10, diamond shape, top to the bottom, turn it sideways. Line our tip up at the 20. I need a new mat, y'all. Stretch, pinch at the 20. And then I'm just going to lay our black right on top of our Halloween, and we're going to band them together. Thanks for floating my boat. I appreciate it. Okay, just like that. And we're going to make the one last petal. You need 37 altogether. And that is only because I used that very inside. Otherwise, you would need 36 if you don't want to. So I added this one, and that brought it to 37. Because you have 16, 8, 8, and 4 in the center. The view was good? Awesome. All right, 10 by 10, diamond shape, top to the bottom, turn it sideways. Line up those edges. Does not need to be perfect, I promise. Line your tip up at the 23, pull, scrunch at the 20. Band it. Same thing to the black, 10 by 10, diamond shape, top to the bottom. Line your tips up, straighten those edges. Line it up at the 23, stretch, pinch at the 20, and then put the black right on top of that Halloween and band it together. This is the large flower board. Okay, just like that. All right, y'all ready to rock and roll this last row? And then we'll adjust all of our petals, make sure everything's tucked in nice and pretty. Okay, still go into the inside. Okay, can y'all see how I'm doing that? And I'm kind of flattening it out just a little more for y'all to be able to see. So I will go back through and fluff it just a little bit more. Normally I wouldn't be flattening it out like this to make the roses. I usually use Laurie's with the new center multiple times. Yep. See, everybody does it a little bit different. I can't grab it. The center petals are done the exact same way. Absolutely. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing is I'm just kind of bringing those petals to the bottom of the board, and that will help them stay in place and not move. I think I need some more Betty Crocker scissors. So here's the part where I'm just, you know, being careful, trying to get everything put in place so that it holds on to each other. Yeah, they are a little dull. And doing this now means I won't have to, or shouldn't have to, do as much when we get all these petals in place. Thanks. Two more, y'all. Oh my God, it looks so pretty. I just saw it on the screen. Being very careful as I'm wrapping these last couple around the bud because I still have it clipped together. I won't unclip it until I get that last piece in so that the mesh will start hitting each other. Still taking it around that bud. And I'm taking the edges and sticking it straight down to the board. Okay. Whew. Look how pretty. But we're not done. We still have to fluff it. All right. So what I do at this point is I unclip. See, I've still got that clip on there from our bud. So we're going to unclip it. And now I'm going to relax that center, okay? So I'm just going to gently pull on it, loosen it up. Now, if you like a tight center, then by all means, leave it the way it is, okay? And then I'm going to go in and I'm just going to kind of fluff it up. Now, I'm pulling from the middle of the petal that's zip tied in, right? So that I don't pull the edges out. You don't want to pull the edges out. You want them nice and tucked in. Okay. So it's flattened out a little bit more than it would normally be because I was showing you guys how to do it, okay? But now I want to fluff it up. And if there's an edge, I'll just pick an edge. So if this edge was sticking out like that, then just tuck it in, tuck it straight to the bottom, and then it will catch the mesh around it, okay? If something like this petal's driving me a little nuts, so let's just go in and fix it. This one's sticking up a little too much for my liking, so I'm just gonna take it straight to the bottom, bring those petals back up around it so it's tucked back in a little bit more. If you need to, you can use a little bit of glue to hold them in place as well. Michele, this is beautiful. Oops, I missed it. Let me see. Just make sure it wasn't a question. You haven't been in the crafting mood lately, but I now want to make one. Yes! Do it. Do it, do it, do it. I do wood burn mine, only because for me it's just a little bit easier, y'all. But you definitely do not have to, because all your cut ends are inside. Look how pretty that is, y'all. The very inside, you can always put an eyeball in there if you wanted. You know, do something a little bit spooky, or just leave it. I usually don't put anything in the centers of mine. It's an OCD thing. Let me So there you go. Look how pretty that is, even from the side. All right, so everybody give me a heart. Hit that heart emoji if you're going to make a rose now. I better see a lot of hearts. If you're going to make a rose, hit that heart button. You checked on the Sarah flower? You're welcome. See, I told you it's not hard. You just got to do it. So watch the replay. Get your petal ready. Stop. Put your petal in. Start. Stop. Put your petal in. That's all you have to do. And after you make it the first time, I promise you will want to make another. All right? So that is all I've got for y'all. Have an amazing weekend. I will see you in 2 weeks right here. Same time, same place. Bye, y'all.